Hi, and welcome back to Grassroots Crypto, where I like to teach people about crypto. And in this video, we're going to be doing an update for Thorchain. So I like this video, giving a bit of an update, except for June. So in this video, I'm going to be covering these topics, a bit of a look at what's been happening over the last month and what's happening in the next month. Right, so lending, there's been a few new explainer videos that I created. These two here, you can get more information. The design is set, it's not going to change. There's an organization called Block Science that's doing an internal risk report and a bit of an audit. They're creating this simulation framework for lending, and that simulation framework is going to be used for the starting parameters that I talk about in my video, the recommendations for the soft launch and the hard launch within the ADR. The ADR, I should have heard this morning, maybe come out about a month's time, maybe a little less, because you've got the ADR's got to be out, then you've got to have the actual discussion on it, the node voting, and then you'll actually get the soft launch. So hopefully that comes out next month, maybe a bit later, and then you're looking 2 to 3 months after that for the actual hard launch. So the synth caps has been increased. It's the synthetic utilization cap that I talked about in the last video. So that's now at 60%. That vote went through. This allows more room for savers, and the POL target is still at 50%. So this will stop being added. You can read more information about that here, and that vote has was passed. So then we talk about the bond limit, aka the hard cap. So no more room to add liquidity within the network because of this security cap, hard cap, liquidity cap, call it whatever you want. Let's have a look how that works. So here we have it here, and we have the total pooled, and that's if you were to add all liquidity for all the liquidity pools together, you have the total pooled of the network, and the total bonded is all of the rune that's bonded by all of the nodes together. So the hard cap is the bottom 67% of the total bonded, and that's for security reasons. Like I always used to think about it like up here, where the total pool can't be more than the total bonded, but like I said, for security reasons, it's now the bottom 67% of the total bonded. So the total pool has pretty much hit that limit or very close to it. It actually has gone over it. When it goes over it, you can't add any more savers or liquidity positions, LPs, just because it's going to make it the network insecure. The idea is to increase the total bonded, which will obviously increase the hard cap. And that's based off the amount of rune that's been bonded by node operators, as well as the price of rune. So as those move up or down, that's going to change this particular cap here. Anyway, that's how that works. The APR, or the yield that LPs and savers get, are being reduced because of the incentive pendulum. The incentive pendulum essentially controls the rewards based off LPs and nodes, depending on the ratio between total bonded and total pooled. You can read more about that on the docs. There's a new feature that's been planned and being discussed in order to address this, but there's not huge specifics on that yet. And also, it doesn't affect swaps, this hard cap, only the addition of liquidity and savers. Savers yield scaling. So POL has reached the desired target or area of how much protocol owned liquidity is within each pool, particularly the BTC pool. So there's a linear scale decrease based off the synth utilization. So as an example, the BTC pool is at about 50%. Synth utilization, so therefore it's going to deduct the yield starting at 100% by the utilization amount. So you're going to be getting half of the normal synth yield, which means you're getting overall 25% of what a liquidity provider is getting. And with Doge, there's a lot less synth utilization. They're taking 13% off the 100% of the half of the LP utilization, if that makes sense. So it's a deduction from the normal yield that a savers will get depending on the utilization. So this slows the synth side pool growth and also favors liquidity providers a bit more, because obviously they're taking more of a risk and stuff like that. This would also encourage savers to withdraw, perhaps go somewhere else. So then that would reduce the total pool and then allow more liquidity to be entered, particularly through either different savers or different liquidity providers. So the BSC chain, or Binance Smart Chain, is ready for integration. However, that integration has been deferred because there's no more room in the network. And essentially, to create a pool, you need to bootstrap it, which means this needs to increase. We can't increase that because of the hard cap. There's no more room. So that's a quote. The decision has been deferred. until there's sufficient capacity in the security cap to ensure a successful launch. But it's ready to go, just need more bond or higher Rune price. Someone did ask to look at income by chain. So we have, these are the fees in Rune. It's got it here written somewhere. There we go. From the entire range of the network, or the entire time of the network. So we've got here Ethereum, BNB or Binance Beacon Chain, and then Bitcoin being the three major chains that have produced fees. So with BSC to be added, you'd expect to see that to be within the top 3, top 4, just because BNB produces a lot of revenue already for the income. So you expect BSC to add to that, or to take over from some of the BNB revenue. So this is something I missed in the last video, the dynamic output fee multiplier. I talked about the outbound fee because it was 3 times the inbound fee. Well, that's not the case anymore. There was a change. It was, I think, merged in April, introduced in May, and that reduces the outbound fee essentially. By timesing the inbound rate by an outbound multiplier, it's a dynamic fee, which will be cheaper overall to what the outbound fee was previously. So that's greater UI, cheaper outbounds, and cheaper outbounds of swaps. Streaming swaps is a new feature in development. This breaks up quite a large swap into smaller ones over a specific amount of time. So you can get quite a reduction in swap fees because it's broken up over smaller chunks. It allows the ARBs to come in to reset the price, and you're getting cheaper fees because you're not pushing the price in one direction so much. Just as a quick overview, if I'm a whale swapper and I want to swap 3 Bitcoin to Ethereum, I could put 3 BTC in. I'm going to be charged a fair amount, or I can break that up over 10 smaller swaps over a period of time, maybe 10 minutes or stuff like that. And then I might be getting about a 90% reduction in the swap fee because I'm breaking these into smaller swaps. And the protocol will give a cheaper slip fee to smaller swaps than large because it's fee sensitive based off the size of the actual swap. So the user can specify how long they want this to apply for. So the longer the time, the smaller the fee generally, as well as the minimum output. So if you can't achieve, I want 1 Bitcoin for 15 Ethereum as the ratio. If you can't achieve that, it will send a refund, or it will do the swaps when it can, and the ones it can't achieve that ratio for, it will send back. So here's some approximate times. So what I really like about streaming swaps, it's really good for whales that want to swap a large amount, and they can essentially trade the swap fee for the time. So a lot of swap fee is higher at a time, but they could do like a $5 million swap over a 24-hour period, and they're going to get quite a reduced fee down to as low as 0.05%, which is pretty good. It'd be much cheaper than using a centralized exchange, and perhaps even cheaper than some of the ODC services. This will be used for swapping first, but it could be used for streaming savings, inbounds and outbounds, as well as lending, so providing collateral and stuff like that into the future. There's no ETA, but it should be launched on StageNet in the next couple of weeks. Trust Wallet integration, so all L1 swaps are now supported within Trust Wallet, which is pretty cool. All BEP2 assets swapping and stuff like that is supported, and ERC20 I understand is being worked on. And there might be some future announcements coming next week or beyond regarding Trust Wallet, so keep tuned for that. There's been some movement on the Ledger integration with ForSwap, being adding a card within Ledger Live in order to swap via Thorchain, essentially using Ledger Live, which is really cool. So you can swap directly on your Ledger without using a decentralized exchange. I'll put a link to the tweet in the description below so you can read more about it. Bit of a plan obsolescence update. So the kill switch will be complete within a couple of weeks. The same with the investing within a couple of weeks. There's a tweet out about that recently. So things are moving on that front. So what's next? So streaming swaps was said come out in StageNet in a couple of weeks, and then we'll be looking out for the lending soft launch, hopefully at the end of next month as well, but time will tell. That's the video, very quick, covering these items. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Until next time.